This
you.
conference will now be recorded.
So we are going to start with the MySQL administration. So in your introduction class, we have seen the history about MySQL, like what is MySQL, like how it was derived, and what is the version right now going on. So as I told you, the current version in MySQL is 8, but the version right now running is from 5.5 to 5.6 and 5.7. Okay, so in your classes also basically we'll go with your starting with your 5.6 and 5.7 we'll learn, and later on I'll just show you what are the new features of your MySQL 8 and all. We'll see it later on the MySQL 8 version also, because you need to have an idea on the new version also. Maybe tomorrow if you are upgrading to 8, like how what are the new features of your 8 and what are the differences between your 5.7 and 8 there. Okay, so right now today we'll be starting with your MySQL architecture. Okay, so before going with your architecture, what I'll do here, I'll try to build up the server, because for MySQL we require a server where we need to have a Linux installed. Okay, so we are going to work with the MySQL on Linux operating system. So what I'll do here right now, I'll go and create a virtual machine, and we'll install Linux in that. So Linux installation easily it will take around 20 to 25 minutes to complete. So let it go, let it complete. Meanwhile, we can come back and we'll see MySQL architecture. So with this, we are not going to waste your time in just seeing this, simply seeing the installation, right? So let me first go and okay, so I already have this virtual box installed here for me. So I'll send you the link to go and download your virtual box. It's a small exe file. If you want, you can download it from virtualbox.org also. From there also, you can just go and download the virtual box, and a very small exe file. It will just take 2 minutes to download your virtual box. Just say next, next, next. Don't give any other settings there. So my virtual box is already available. Now we need to go and create your virtual machine in this. So I've got a lot of virtual machines here. Just delete some of your virtual machines. I'll just go and delete this virtual machine there.
I already have the virtual machine, but just need to know which Linux version I
You
need to
already have?
install. Yeah,
Okay, that's
virtual
good.
machine I have it already because I do use
Mhm.
my virtual machine.
Okay. So you don't want to see the Linux installation here now?
Go ahead, that's fine.
Okay.
It won't be that long. Just quick installations. I record this. We have to record a
Yeah, yeah.
session, so
Yes, yes. And that way you can see like what are the network settings you have to do, and how do you integrate your Linux server with your Windows machine, so that you can go and access it. All
correct.
these points you can see there.
And also configure the MySQL workbench and all that.
MySQL Workbench we are not going to configure in your classes here. So we are
Okay,
going MySQL core, completely your MySQL command line only. So MySQL
Command
prompt
line.
would be
Command line.
yeah,
Okay,
command
perfect.
line.
No issue.
Okay. So now we'll go and say new here.
Yep.
You just give some name for your virtual machine, and I'm going with the Linux operating system, and that too we are going with the Red Hat Linux. So either you can go with 32 or 64-bit. I'm going with 64-bit here. Red Hat Linux. Next, just to give some memory for your server, I'm giving around 2 GB memory. That is more than enough. If you have more memory, you can give 4 GB also for one machine, because but I'm actually giving 2 GB because later on I require one more MySQL server when I'm doing replication or cloning. Okay, so I require multiple servers, so I'm not giving much memory here for one server only. So
Got
2
it.
GB I give, create a virtual hard disk now. And whenever we create a virtual machine, it is stored as a VDI image, virtual box disk image. These VDI images actually you can import it to some other server, and you can just build up your machine in another server also. Okay, so you can just remove these virtual machines, VDI images there. So just
Okay.
say next, and say dynamically allocated the hard disk size. Okay, so right now in the starting, I'm just giving an hard disk size of around 40 GB. That is
Okay.
more than enough for all our activities, because only we don't have much users logging in here. Only I'll be logging, and maybe 2 or 3 normal users I'll create there. So 40
Sure.
GB space will be much enough there. But if you require more space also, we can just go and increase the hard disk size, because I am choosing the dynamically allocated option there. Okay, so that's why you always choose your dynamically allocated option. And where
So
do you want to store?
when you have dynamically located, so you can increase anytime you need.
Yes, you're right. Anytime if I want to have more disk space, like 40 GB is not sufficient. I just want to have more space there. I can go and add more 20 GB there if it is dynamically allocated. If it is fixed size, we cannot add.
Got it.
Okay, so I just want to store all my VDI images, some VDI folder in my D drive. I have created a VDI folder. In that, I just try to keep centrally all my VDI images. So just keep it over here and say save, create. So now a new virtual machine is created there. Now we have to go and do the settings. It's like a virtual server, but basically you're building up a server. For a server, what are required? A server requires an IP or a host name to be pingable there. Okay, so we'll go and do the networking there. For IP are your network card that you define. So already one network adapter it is available. We'll say it is attached to host only adapter. We'll choose host only adapter, and advanced option will say promiscuous mode allow all. This is because I just want this machine pickable from here virtual machine, from your virtual box, and from your Windows also, or maybe from another server also, maybe from a different laptop. I want to go and connect to this server there. So
Okay.
remotely also you want to connect. So we have to give this promiscuous mode allow all.
Okay.
Okay, so this is your networking. So one Ethernet adapter or network card is enabled by name some ETH0 it will be coming in. So for this Ethernet adapter or network card, you can assign in public IP, an IP address we can give there. So that we'll see later on how to assign the IP address and all. So right now, one network card is enabled. Now go for your storage, ID controller. In this, go for empty symbol. And in this right side, you'll find an DVD image. Click on that and go to the location where you have actually go and downloaded your Linux DVD. An ISO image basically you need to get. So we are working with Red Hat Linux, so you can go and have your Red Hat Linux. Different versions are available in Red Hat Linux. Like right now in Red Hat Linux, you have got 8 also. RHEL 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 5, whatever the version you want, you can choose. Basically, I'm going with 5.5 here because 5.5, most of the RPMs are inbuilt. You don't
Okay.
need to go and have your yum, or you don't need to go and do a lot of settings in 5.5. So basically, we are not going to deal with your RHEL administration here, right? I just
Okay.
wanted to have a plain server. where my Linux is available, and our main focus is to just go and install your MySQL and work on MySQL, right? So that's why I've chosen a version that is more inbuilt and a lot of packages, lot of tools that are already available in 5.5. Okay, so
So
that's why I've chosen RHEL 5.5.
where can I download that one from? Red Hat?
Yes, from redhat.com.
You would have a link for that?
I'll send you the link. Otherwise, actually, sometimes if you are unable to download, you just try it out in redhat.com. You go and just try to download RHEL 5.5. If it is there, if you are able to download, that is good enough. Otherwise, I'll send you the dump to you directly to your email.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'll send you the dump better. Okay.
Okay.
So just click on OK, and the DVD we have attached here, because this is a difference actually when you're working with your actual server and virtual server. In actual server, we would download the software in a DVD, and directly the DVD would insert into the server and it would get mounted. But here
Correct.
this is my virtual machine, so I have used this option that storage. We have ID controller. We just connected the DVD storage, and now my DVD got connected to my server there. Now just go and say start. So that now my DVD will be mounted and your RHEL or Linux installation will be started. Just say enter.
Yep.
You can skip the media test because we have downloaded from a trusted site only. We have downloaded the software.
Okay.
Otherwise, the software also will be tested. Like if it is from a trusted software website, and if it is good enough, or it is having any kind of issues or corruption.
Very, very.
Any version you go, either you go with Linux 5, 6, 7, the installation steps will be the same. But after installation, if I want to use any kind of tool or anything, I need to go and get your YAML through internet. I have to download it in 6 or 7. Differences will be there. But
Sure.
the
Right.
installation step will be the same for any version you're going. So I'm
Right.
going with English language. Just go with your US English.
Now, do you
And it
have
is
a list?
asking,
Yep. You have a list of RPM that need required for the MySQL?
list of RPMs is not required there. When I'm doing MySQL installation, actually MySQL has an RPM installation also. There I'll show
Oh,
you
okay.
what are the RPMs required there. We can go
Okay.
and download those RPMs directly from mysql.com.
Got
So
it.
from mysql.com, we'll download those RPMs that are required for installation. So if it is
Okay.
saying that to enter your installation number, because that is given when you have a licensed RHEL. Okay,
Sure.
so we don't have
Okay.
licensed installation number, so you can just skip that entering installation number. So it says that if you
Okay.
cannot locate installation number, consult Red Hat, you can get that. Just say skip, it's not required. Now, do you want to
Okay.
go and create your partitions? Yes. So in Linux is basically about your partitions only, like what is your slash, root, swap, etc, boot, var. So all those partitions, suppose if a Linux administrator is doing this installation, a system administrator, he would go and choose a custom layout. Two options are available here. Either you can go for a custom layout or you
Uh-huh.
can go for a default layout. What do you mean by custom layout? Custom layout means you have to give the sizing for all your partitions. Like
Correct.
what will be the size for slash? Like boot should be 1/4 of your RAM. Swap should be double of your RAM. Like that, every partition you have to keep the sizing. So definitely, if a system admin is doing in a production server, he will give you the proper sizing for all the partitions. Okay, but here we are not going to do any custom layout because we need to sit down and see what are the exactly what size I have to be for each and every partition and all. Instead of that, when more option is available, we can say default layout. Default layout means some random sizing will be given for all your partitions.
Got
Okay,
it.
that will be done automatically. So you're not bothered about any partition sizing and all. So just say default layout and say next. So it says that you have chosen to remove all your partitions and create a default layout. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes.
Yes.
And because I have enabled the network adapter, the Ethernet card, you can see the network adapter name is given as ETH0, that is Ethernet 0. Okay. So
Okay.
suppose tomorrow if I require one more network adapter, if I just go and attach an adapter there, it will be named as ETH1. ETH0, ETH1, ETH2, the names you will be getting like this. So just see that it is active on boot. Yes, it is active on boot. So only this thing you have to check there. And the host name. Do you want to give the host name here itself? Because every server we need to give an host name. Like using that host name, we can go and access that machine. So do you want to give it over here or later on? I'll just give it later on in your etc host file. We'll just go and edit there later on.
Okay.
So just say next. No need to give it over here. And in what time zone you are actually living in. So according to that time zone, you have to give the um, you have to select that proper time zone there. So you'll have a proper time in your server, proper date and time in your server. So
Sure.
right now I'm in India. So according to Indian time zone, it is Asia Kolkata.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll have it that time zone, date and time there.
Yep.
So next, so when we are installing, working with Linux, you'll get a root user. So for that you root user, I just need to assign the password. So root is a super user who is actually managing your complete Linux file system and all.
Okay.
So here, because I'm working with Linux 5, I've got two options there, software development and work server, to just choose these two options to get all your required packages, all your RPMs. But if I'm going with
Okay.
Linux 6 or 7, the higher versions, you will get one option called, you'll get multiple options there. In that, you can just go and choose your desktop option. There will be one option called as desktop. Desktop will give you
Yeah.
all the required necessary packages, all the graphical packages and your command line packages and all will be getting. So just choose one desktop if you're working with version above 5, either 6, 7, 8, whatever version you put.
Sure.
Just say next. And this installation, it will take minimum of 15 to 20 minutes to complete. And after this installation, you will get some post installation steps also, where you have to go and disable your firewall, disable SE Linux. Because on top of this server, I want to go and install MySQL software. I just want this software to be accessible remotely also. So if firewall is enabled, it will not allow anything to be installed there. So there are
All right.
certain post installation steps also we have to do there. So that anyway we do after the installation.
Sure.
It's checking for the dependencies also. Whenever we are working with Linux, it's not only about RPM packages that are mainly available. You have a lot of dependent packages also. So if dependencies are not properly installed, also your installations will fail. So just say next. So now my installation is started. So let it continue for and whenever you want to come out of this console, in your virtual machine console, your mouse pointer will be captured. So you have to press right control on your keyboard. You can come out of this console. So let my installation continue here.
Okay.
Now we'll go with the architecture part here.
Okay.
So basically, MySQL architecture, we can relate with your Oracle architecture. You're an Oracle DBA, right?
Yes.
So you will be having an idea how your Oracle architecture works. Basically, what is your Oracle architecture? Whenever a user fires a query, that query is taken by a server process. Server process will take in Oracle architecture. You have three parts. That is memory, storage, and your process. Okay, memory, storage, process, structures. So memory means we have got SDA and PGA and Oracle. Like whenever your query comes in, the server process will take the query to your SDA. In SDA shade pool, the query processing will be done. A hash value, a parse code, execution plan is generated, and then the data fetching will be done. So for fetching the data, it will go and fetch the data from your storage. So your storage can be your from your table spaces, from your tables, the data will be fetched. From your data files, the data will be fetched and it will be given back to the user. And you have got a lot of background processes also in Oracle. You have got S1, P1, and all so many checkpoint background process and all lot of background process. So basically in Oracle, we have got only three types of files: data files, control, and redo. And specifically only one type of memory component, that is SG. Any amount of queries that comes into your Oracle DBA server, you just have one fixed memory, one fixed file system. Okay, but when you work with MySQL, it is no fixed memory, no fixed file system. So it depends like what kind of data you are accessing. Your memory also will be changing there, and your file system also will be changing there. Okay, that is one thing you have to remember, and we'll see what are the changing, what are the different memory structures you are having, what are the different file systems we are having when we work later on. But right now we'll go into start with your MySQL architecture. So now you have an idea on Oracle architecture. Now, when we go with your MySQL architecture, first of all, when a client makes a request, the client request is taken by a connection manager. Your connection manager is nothing but like your server process. And one thing you have to remember, MySQL doesn't have any background processes. Your MySQL database doesn't have any background process. Like in Oracle, you have got a lot of background process, like how you are
Yes.
like every background process has a job there, from
Right.
where it is reading the data and where it is writing the data and everything. But in MySQL, it is not such. MySQL, they just have a lot of predefined things. A lot of things are predefined and a lot of structures are available which will actually connect, and your data will be moved from one structure to another structure. The connections are available in MySQL. Basically, connections are available, not your background processes.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever a client makes a request, that request is taken by a connection manager. Connection manager, you can imagine as your server process. Okay, that will be taking the request, and your connection manager, when it actually takes a request, it will give it to the thread manager. Your thread manager basically will create a thread for every query that is coming in. Okay, so whatever the query comes in, one thread is nothing but a process only, right? So a process or a process ID is generated for every query that comes in MySQL server. Okay, so a thread manager creates a thread, and then it will given to a user module. User module, basically the user authentication will be done. Basically, user module can come in the third place, or it can be on your first place if you are having an application, because your user authentication is basically done at your application level only. So if you have applications on top of your MySQL server, your user authentication is done at your application level only. So you no need to have any user module coming over here if you have applications. But if you don't have any application directly, your clients very rarely happen there. But if a direct connection to your database server, MySQL database server is made, then a user module will be there, which will be authenticating the users, like he's the proper user, and does he have the proper password and all. User will be authenticated. Then the query is given to a command dispatcher. Okay, so here how the client is connecting to your server here, basically there should be some kind of networking files here or something. What kind of networking will be there between your client and server of MySQL? Like in Oracle, how the connection is made there, we have got network files there in Oracle. We have got listener on Oracle server, and a TNS service file on your client server, and using these TNS and this listener networking, you just try to ping, and they get connected. But
Correct.
here in MySQL, we don't have any such kind of network files. So
Okay.
how does networking happen here? Your networking is basically only through your network port number. Okay, the network port number is very important because basically the data is transferred over the network port only, right?
Yes.
The data packets are transferred over the port. So if you can give that network port number, that is enough. And it is using basically the TCP/IP protocol, the TCP/IP protocol for all your networking, and it does use your network port number. So what is the default network port number in MySQL? Like in Oracle, we have 1521 for Oracle. In for MySQL, it is 3306, double
Three
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 zero six.
3306 by default
Yes.
port. Okay.
Default
Got
port, yes. That is the default port. If you don't provide any network port there, so at the time of installation, your MySQL will pick up 3306 as the default, and all your networking, all your data communication will be done on that port. But if you feel that I don't want to give that default port, I want to define my own network port number.
it.
Okay, so you can go and define your network port number, but where should I define that? So there should be some file where can I go and keep my network port number or any other thing I just want to, any other MySQL server related parameters or something I just want to keep there. So what do we do in Oracle? In Oracle we have got P file, right? A
P5. Correct.
parameter file or SP file where all your database parameters and everything are kept there in your P file. Same way
Right.
in MySQL we have got your MySQL configuration file. In MySQL, we have got your MySQL configuration file by name my.cnf. So as the
My
classes go on,
my
my.cnf,
my.cnf.
cnf, yeah, my cnf, cnf is configuration. Okay, so my.cnf file is available. This is basically like your configuration file, we call it as, or we can consider it as your parameter file. So in your configuration file, all the configuration related parameters are kept. So we can go and define your port number in that configuration file.
Got it.
So I don't want to use 3306. My network admin has given me a different network port number. So whatever the network port you have, just define that network port, and over that network port only the data will be transferred. And not only the network port, tomorrow if you want to have any kind of parameter about your MySQL server, your database parameter, anything you want to keep in your file, you can have that in your MySQL configuration file. Okay,
Okay.
so where this file is located again. So this file location, there is lot of what you call confusion here for about the file location there, because every version the file location is changing.
I
Like
see.
in Oracle, if you go, it is fixed. Like your P file is there in Oracle home TBS location, right? So
Right. By
starting from
default.
your Oracle by default, that is the location. But for MySQL, every version you go, the file location is different. So if I'm working in 5.5 till 5.5, from MySQL 4 to 5.5, the default location for MySQL configuration file was etc/etc. We had this my.cnf file. Okay,
Slash
but from
etc.
5.6 onwards, yes, in /etc location you can find my.cnf till
Okay.
5.5. But if I'm going with 5.6, 5.7, the location is in USR/USR location. You can find your MySQL configuration file. It's there in your USR location.
So
Okay,
5.6 and above is under USR.
USR, yes. And earlier to 5.5, from 4 to 5.5 was there in etc location, and below that version it was in a different location. But below that version nowadays we are not working, right?
Right. Right.
So
We'll
no
just
need to
worry about
consider
the
about
current and new version.
yeah. So we are just, you just need to know, like in 5.5 it is there in etc location. Why I'm saying 5.5? Because many of the companies they still have 5 also. Many of the companies
Yes.
they still are working with 5, 5.1, 5.2 also they are working. So you need to know like what is
Yes.
your configuration file location. So that's why we have to consider these things. So in your MySQL configuration file will define the network port number. Then what happens, your client makes a request, and over that network port, like maybe 3306 is the network port, over that network port the client request, that is consider like I'm just requesting some employee information. Like I'm having an employee table, so I'm taking your employee information. Select star from employee. Okay, so that query is given to your connection manager. Your connection manager will establish a connection and it will give it to the thread manager, which will create a thread or a process ID is generated for that particular query, and it is given to a command dispatcher. So the command dispatcher, this is one good thing. This is one thing that actually you need to understand. Your command dispatcher will actually give the query to your parser. So command dispatcher, it will dispatch the queries either to a parser stage or it will give it to a query cache model. So what does your command dispatcher do? Okay, what happens in Oracle if the query enters for the second time? If the query is entering, what happens there?
Or if it's
Suppose,
in the, if it's there, they will pass it from memory, buffer cache.
yes, yes, you're right. Right. First time if the query is coming in, then it will go and fetch the data from your disk and all the processing will be done. But
Right.
second time if the query is coming in, it is called as soft parsing.
So
Soft
parts of that.
parsing. Soft parsing and hard parsing.
Correct.
So second time if it is coming in, it is soft parsing and it will go and read the data from your memory. Here also in MySQL, first time the query is coming in, the command dispatcher, because the thread manager has created a thread there, it will come to know that this is your first time the query has come in. Then it will go to the parsing stage. Okay,
Okay.
but second time the query is coming in, same thread, same process ID is generated, it will not go to the parsing stage, it will directly go to the query cache model. Query cache means what? Memory. Your query cache model will have the output of your query.
Okay.
Okay, again the output of your query, you know, like for how long the output will be kept there. Like in Oracle also in your buffer cache, it depends on the size of your buffer cache and it depends upon how much of based on your LRU list again,
Uh,
least
Correct.
recently used list and all. So here also the same concept is repeated here also in query cache module, like based on your LRU list, if it has sufficient space, then you can find the output. If space is not sufficient, then maybe your output might be written back to your files there. So your command dispatcher will go and check that. If the output is available, it will read the output and it will give the output back to the query or back to the user. If not, then again the whole processing has to be done and it has to go and pick up the data from your file. Okay.
Right.
So first time the query is coming in, your command dispatcher will give it to the parser stage. One good thing about your MySQL here is when your parser is going and giving the queries, your queries are divided into multiple components here,
Okay.
multiple modules. We call it as modules here, multiple
Okay.
modules here. So what kind of modules? Like in Oracle, if I'm having a select query, insert query, a DML, DDL, or a select query, anything, all your queries will go to your FGA. All your queries will go to your shade pool. Shade pool only the query processing will be done and the output is taken, it is given back to the user. Any type of query. But here
Right.
in MySQL, the multiple different types of queries will go to different modules. Like suppose if it's a select query, it will go to your optimizer module. Okay, so
Mm.
your optimizer module will take your select queries and optimizer, basically it is given the name here because it is optimizing that, because mostly select queries will be what? It will be kind of read-only queries, right? You're
Correct.
not going to make any changes there. So it's, the
Correct.
name is given here like your optimizer. Don't consider this optimizer with your Oracle. In Oracle, we have optimizer to give your execution
To,
plans
per-
and everything.
to the performance.
But here yeah, performance. But here this optimizer is not giving any plan and all there. The module name is given here because it is optimizing the time there, because your select queries doesn't take much time there. They are read only queries. Even if
Okay.
they are coming 10 times to the server, same output will be given there. So your
Got it.
optimizer will take the query and it will give to the access control module. So your access control module, it will have the access to all the tables. It is controlling the access there. So in your access control module, basically the permissions of your user on that table are checked. Okay.
Correct.
So the permissions on the table. So many of them have a query like user module. We have already done the authentication. User
Yes.
module authentication, only the user authentication was done, like user name and his password and all. But the table privileges, which what kind of privileges he have on the table and all is checked here in your access control module. So
So
does
there
he have
only
access?
so there will be two different privileges, one for connecting to the database
Yes,
for the user and one for the accessing the data at the table
data.
level.
Yes, the privileges, the database level privileges, like
Correct.
does he have the read access? Does he
Table level.
basically have the access all or not onto the table? Maybe some users doesn't have an access to the database.
Correct.
Okay, or maybe doesn't have an access to the table itself. So access control module will actually check, does he have the complete access to go and have that to go and access the table data there. So if he's having, then he'll go and connect the query is given to a table manager. Table manager is like a manager. He's
Okay.
completely managing all the tables there. So your table manager will go and give the query to an abstract storage engine module. Storage engine, this word is really very important in MySQL here, because
Storage
where
engine.
your
Okay.
data is being stored. Yeah, storage engine is basically how your data is stored and where your data is stored in your MySQL server.
Got okay.
Okay,
My
so
thing.
multiple storage engines are available in MySQL. You have got some 8 or 9 storage engines are available in MySQL. Okay, so how your data is being stored? Basically, you want to have your data permanently, or you just want to have your data as a read-only data, or you just want to store your data for a longer duration. So depending upon the requirement, your different storage engines are available. So the two most important storage engines are MySAM and InnoD.
Okay.
Okay,
I know the
MySAM and InnoD. Okay, so these two are the most popular storage engines. But other than these two, you have got some 7 or 8 other engines are available. So
okay.
in your coming classes, we'll see what are the different types of storage engines, what are its features, what are the differences and all, and how to create those storage engines and all in detail. We'll see, because that is really very important when you are
Sure.
working with your MySQL file system at all. Okay,
So
so here your abstract storage engine will go and check your table is available in which storage engine.
so who
Okay,
makes the
so that is
decision by
the,
storing data? Which storage engine
yes,
to use?
that is dependent upon your client. Actually, your client
Requirement?
requirement. Yes,
Okay.
your client requirement, it depends. Like your client says that I just want to have a database which is only kind of read-only environment. I don't want
Okay.
to give them any read-write access on my tables. Then just store your data in your MySAM storage engine table. Or
I
you
see.
want to have a read-write kind of environment. Like I told you in your introduction class, like MySAM, we are using Google.
All right.
Google is actually using your MySQL engine tables there, and Facebook, Twitter, they are using this InnoDB engine tables there.
Because
Like you
you
want to
can
change
user
your
make a
data,
change.
yeah, you want to change the data, and that change has to be permanent also. It's not like you are changing the data and you're logging off the session and your changes are gone. Not like that. The
Okay.
changes have to be permanent also. So that is your InnoDB engine. Like these many engines are available, but these two are the most popular engines. So only these two engines, many of the companies, many of the
Ca-
clients and what you call projects will be using these two
Got
engines
it.
only mostly. And can we have multiple engines in the same server? Or should I have only one engine
Okay.
kind of table? So multiple, both options are available. Either I can have whole database tables as my SAM. Okay, all tables to be
Okay.
read-only kind of tables. Or I can have a combination of both. Some tables my SAM, some tables InnoDB like that. Okay, but very
Oh,
rarely
you can
we'll
have
go with
both. Okay.
your
Combination.
you can have both combination engines also, but very rarely we go with your combination engines actually. So whenever we have a bigger environments, bigger databases, when we are working, we try to choose one type of engine only. So we'll
Okay.
try to go and set one engine as a default engine. So all your tables that are created, either they are MySAM read only, or they are InnoDB like that. So we try to have only one type, but it's possible that you can have a combination of your engine tables also, you can have them. Okay. So basically, your table
Okay.
manager will take the request and it will give to the abstract storage engine module, which will go and check that which engine my table is being kept. Because again, but depending upon your engines, your file system is also changing there. If I'm going with
Sure.
MySAM, my tables will be stored in a different files. If I'm going with INUDB, different files are available. I have another type of engines, like I have got Archive engine, federated engine, different files are available. So your abstract engine not only going and checking the storage engine, it has to go and check your file system also. Like which file I can go and get my data. So it will go and get the data. Now your abstract engine will go and suppose my data is available in your INODB. So it will go and get your data from your INODB file and it will go and give the data back to the user. But before giving the data back to the user, a copy of your output has to be kept. Maybe the query is entering for the second time, it will be easier, right? So to keep your
Right.
copy of your output for the second time, the copy of your output is kept here in your query cache. Okay, it's
Query
like your
question
buffer.
module. Okay.
The query cache
Right.
module will have the output, so that second time if the same query is coming in, no need of going and parsing and all, and this access control module, nothing is required. Directly the query, the output is taken from your query cache module, it is given back, the output is given back to the user. Okay, that is
Okay.
for select, that is for select queries only. But what if
So,
I'm getting
right.
any DML query? What if I'm having any DML queries like updating, inserting and all? Then it will go to
Mhm.
your table
Right.
modification module. Your table modification module, it will go and check there that if you're making any kind of insert or update. So that your queries will go to your table modification module and then access control. Here it will be the same. So why they are differentiating
Sure.
here in this way? So just to improve your query processing speed. Okay,
Okay.
so in Oracle, what happens is like in Oracle, all your queries, all type of queries will go to your shade code, and your query processing will happen in your shade code only. Okay,
Right.
select will take faster. Select queries will be more faster when compared to your DML queries, right? So select queries will take
Correct.
less time. So here, if I am just dividing the modules here in MySQL, what they have taught it, if we can divide the modules, then your select queries will be run very fastly and your data will be fetched very fastly if it is a select query. Suppose if it was if one module was available, then it would be very difficult to differentiate your select, differentiate your DMLs and all. Okay, so that's
Okay.
why they have given different modules. And when we just compare the query processing speed with your Oracle, the MySQL query processing speed is very high. Very fastly the
Okay.
query is processed, like in microseconds, I can just say. Fraction of seconds
So,
only your
so,
MySQL queries will be processed.
so what's like if is a query been fired? Is what is the default or minimum time
No,
before someone
minimum
says,
I
okay,
cannot just say.
my
In on your screen you'll be just seeing zero only. Most of the time you'll see 0 seconds only on your screen.
I
But if
see.
I really want to
Okay.
go and see what exactly the time it has taken, I'll show you in your in
Yeah.
your performance training class. Like if I execute a query, we'll go and see what
Okay.
exactly the time it has taken. Then you can see there like in milli or microsecond time it will be showing you the exact
Got it.
query. We can see that.
Okay.
I'll show you that query with
Sure.
that parameters. We'll see how to exactly see your query execution time here. But when I compare with Oracle, I'm just saying that Oracle is
Right.
very
Right.
defined, but Oracle takes a lot of time to process the query. Because why it takes time? Because Oracle has background processes. One
Yes.
thing, every background process has to be invoked. Every background process will take some time to take the data from here to there and reading and all, and everything is being processed in one location only, that is in Shadeful. But here we have different divided different modules, so the query processing will be done very fastly here. Okay,
Okay.
so if it's an insert statement, it will go to your table modification module, and then there, if it's a kind of any kind of repair, like any kind of correction, like your table data might be corrupted, right? So if any kind of
Okay.
correction query, repairing query if you are giving, then it will go to your
Mm,
table maintenance model. Okay,
I
then
see.
if you are having any kind of replication, Like suppose I just want to replicate my data, clone my data to another server. So when I'm replicating also,
Okay.
I'll give a lot of commands there. So all those commands will go to your replication module. And if I want to check any kind of reports, so like we
Mm-hmm.
can generate performance reports, we can just have plans also here, we can have your execution plans also here in MySQL database here. Like in Oracle we have got your execution plans there. Same way we can generate your plans, we can generate your reports there. So if I want to see the status of your reports, any query if I'm finding, then that will go into your status reporting mode.
Okay.
Okay. And so with this, what happens? So with the reason behind dividing this, the query processing time will be reduced here and will be much faster. Query will be much faster, fastly executed. So this is basically an
Right, because
overview of
we
your architecture.
got it.
Yeah. So in detail, we have to go and see this in detail architecture, like how many types of caches are available. Like I'm just saying it is going to your, like in Oracle, we just have buffer cache. That's all. Whatever
Right.
the output is there, that will go into your buffer cache only. But here it is not such that. So if it's an InnoDB table, it will go to your InnoDB cache. If it's a MySam cache, MySam table, it will go to your MySam cache will be there. If it's an another engine table, it will go into a different cache. So again, depending on your engines, your different types of caches are available. So that we have to see. And then logging module, like whatever the queries
Mm-hmm.
that are coming in. So you should be having some logs also. Like I should be knowing that how many queries have entered to my server and for how long the queries has been processing. All the logs should be available. So yes, what kind of logs
Okay.
are available in your MySQL server? Different types of log files are available. Okay, so and where they are located, where your logs are available. Like tomorrow, if you have any error or anything, where can I go and find my error log file?
Sure.
Okay, so where can I find my error? In which log file I can go and check? Or tomorrow I just wanted to see that if my query has executed, um, so where exactly, how much time your query has taken, and who has like kind of auditing also, like who has actually fired the query and all. So all these things I can go and check it from your log files. So what kind of log
Okay.
files are available, and what kind of, how many different types of storage engines are available. So all these things in detail we have to check them. Okay, so this is basically, I can just say, an overview of your architecture for your MySQL. Like whenever a MySQL in the server, if a query files, if a query gets filed, the query comes to your MySQL server. A connection manager takes the query and it gives to a thread manager. Then user is authenticated. Your command dispatcher dispatches the query to different modules. From there, your access control module and table manager will go and check that which table your which engine your table is present. From there the table data is picked and it is given back to the user. Okay, so much similar to your Oracle architecture
Okay.
here. It is
Yes.
much similar to your Oracle architecture, right? So any database you go, not
Yes.
only MySQL. Tomorrow, if you're going in for your SQL Server, also any database, the architecture will be the same,
Mm-hmm.
but little differences will be there. Like how they are actually the query, how it is executing, and what kind of module. So if you learn that thing by comparing with your existing database, that will be much easier. Right? Okay.
Got
So
it.
in detail architecture, we'll see in your coming classes anyway. The remaining 8 minutes, it is saying like 5 more minutes, your execution will be done, and you'll be getting some post installation steps there. So in post
Okay.
installation steps, what you have to do is you have to just go and disable firewall, disable SC Linux, and
Yes.
it will ask, do you want to create any other
Right.
user you want to create? Not required now. Root is the user. We can work with your root user, and that's all.
Okay.
And next class,
Okay.
tomorrow's
Got it.
class, I'll just go and try to set up your networking. Like I'll try to assign the IP to this server, host name will assign, and then we'll start your MySQL installation. Like what are the
Okay.
different types of installations available? Like in Oracle, we have got your command line, command line installation, or we can go with your DBCA installation,
Yep.
sorry, OUI installation you can do, or you can do a silent installation you can have in Oracle. right? In MySQL, we have
Right.
got the command line installation, like we can go with different types here. You have got RPM installation, you have got community installation is available. So we'll see that in your next class. Okay. So it will
Okay.
take time. I'll just stop it over here for today. You can do your post installation steps, right? As soon as this is done, you'll
Yes.
get one more screen where you have to just say next, next, next. Just disable the
Right.
firewall and
Right.
disable SL9X. That those two are the important things. And once you do that,
Sure.
your machine is ready. So now,
Right.
right now, my server is ready. Tomorrow we can start with your MySQL installation.
Okay.
Clear?
And also, you're gonna share this presentation, right? PowerPoint presentation.
The
Yeah.
PPTs.
Yeah.
This will be there in your book.
My
The
book.
PDF material I'm saying, yeah, the PDF
Oh,
book
okay.
I'll be sharing with you. In
Oh,
that, you
okay.
will be
Good.
having all these.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So there. Perfect. Okay.
So we'll